How are you, Mount Vernon? Make some noise if you're having fun, yeah? I gotta be honest with you, I get nervous introducing myself. On stage and in real life. Because there are two types of names. Let's say your name is John. Do we have any Johns here tonight? All these white people, just one John? I find that hard to believe. This is where they make Johns. This is like white people's Wakanda right here. Let's say your name is John, which it is. I think I saw one night there, all right? Correct me if I'm wrong. Two types of names. You meet somebody, they ask you, hey, what's your name? You go, John. Then you jump right into the conversation. My name is Birungi. That shit don't work for me, John. I'm telling you, every time I meet people, they ask me, hey, what's your name? I go, Birungi. They go, wow. It's like they just met a genie. And then they always hit me with this one. They're like, oh my God, Birungi? What does it mean? Anybody ever asked you what John means? I don't think so. They're like, oh my God, what is the legend of Birungi? Mount Vernon, I'll tell you, Birungi is an African name that means good luck. Yeah, pretty simple for an African name, right? Birungi means good luck. Good luck getting a job. Good luck getting to the airport. I call bullshit on that one. Yeah, it's weird that Birungi cannot get me to the airport, but Birungi can get me a job at the airport? Some of y'all look at me like I thought it looked familiar. C-Tac. Gate 36. We can be next time. I'll throw an extra bag in there for you. If you ever lost a bag at C-Tac, my bad. I was high that day. African names are a little bit extra. Like Americans, you get accused of mispronouncing our names. I don't think it's your fault. Right? They're long, they have consonants, they have vowels, they even have clicks. You know who I blame for this shit? Our parents. Because they give us these names without consideration for the rest of the world. I'll give you an example. I have an African friend of mine. I know he's African because he's my brother. This guy's name is, I won't say it, but I'll spell it for you. Listen carefully. It is spelled M-A-N-I-G-A. M-A-N-I-G-A. One of those letters is silent. You just gotta figure out which one. M-A-N-I-G-A. This guy must be a nightmare for anyone who works at Starbucks. I can't imagine how that order goes. I have a frappuccino here for my... Oh, shit. I should have called in sick today. Oh, come on, let's try. I have a frappuccino here for my... They did not cover this in the racial sensitivity training. Oh my God. All right, here we go. I have a frappuccino here for my black friend. White people, if you're struggling laughing at that joke, look at the black person next to you. They're not here, imagine them. Yeah. Names are important. You gotta be careful with the names you give your kids, alright? Any parents in the house? Clap your hands, parents? Yeah. I hope your kids are not walking around nameless. My wife and I, we're talking about this. If we have kids, we don't know what to do. I'll give you some context. My wife has all American names. I have all African names. Last night we're talking, we're like, babe, if we have kids, what are we gonna do? I was like, babe, let's sleep on it. Halfway through the night, I wake up, I was like, babe, I figured it out. We're gonna have 2 kids. We'll give the first kid all American names. Then we'll give the second kid all African names and see which one goes the furthest in life. Mount Vernon, I'll come back in 20 years. Let you know how my social experiment went. I know I said I'm from Africa, but I'll specify I'm from Uganda. Yeah, I have to say it right up top, you know, because it gives you context for what I say, but sometimes if I don't do it, weird shit happens. Yeah, like I'll be performing at a show like this, and then halfway through I'll hear a whisper. Usually goes something like this. Where do you think he's from? I think he's from Jamaica. Oh no, I think he's from North Carolina. None of the above, but I tell people, but sometimes I'm hesitant, but the reason is because when people find out I'm from Uganda, they have a lot of questions. Some of them are honest questions, like this one. They always ask me, it's like, Birungi, what made you come over to America? I'll tell you. I went to high school in Uganda. Right before I graduated, I go to my dad. I was like, hey, I want to spread my wings. I want to go to America. Specifically, I want to go to Washington. My dad is like, okay, I guess give it up for Washington. My dad was not as enthusiastic as you are. He was like, no, my son, don't do it. I was like, what's the problem, Dad? He goes to his bedroom and comes back with a Seattle Times newspaper. I didn't know this guy had a Seattle Times subscription in Uganda. And this paper had a story, a specific story. All right, it was from Washington. It was a story of a sex scandal involving a lady called Mary Kay. Oh, some of you know who she is. For the young people, Mary Kay at the time was a 40-year-old white woman, a high school teacher who banged one of her students, a 12-year-old Samoan boy. My dad shows it to me, he's like, look, my son, Americans are crazy. Look what will happen to you. I was like, Dad, I think you just made up my mind for me. What kind of threat is that? Don't go to America, you lose your virginity. Needless to say, I flew here on Virgin Airlines. I arrived here on a strange day. This was 10 years ago. Do you know what day I arrived in America? I arrived on 4th of July. Yeah. Americans, you never understand how confusing it is to arrive in a country where everyone's blackout drunk during the day. I had to look at my boarding pass. I was like, did I go to Ireland? But you know what they say, when in America on 4th of July, do what the Irish might do. Straight from the airport, I go to a bar. I was like, hey bartender, I just came from Uganda. I'm happy to be here. Get me the best American beer. He's like, can I see some ID? Confidently, I whip up my ID and show it to him. He looks down, looks up. He's like, son, you gotta be 21 to drink beer in America. I'm sorry, I'm asked you to leave. I was confused. For context, I'm from Uganda where the drinking age is 18. Maybe. Fast forward, I go to college, my American friends, when they turn 21, they'll go crazy. I was so confused, so I had to do some research, find out why these two cultures drink different, why Africans drink different from Americans, and I found out why. John, do you know why? I'll tell you, it all comes down to the parents. See, in America, you had American parents yelling at their kids like, hey, John, eat up your food. There's starving kids in Africa. At the same time, you had African parents yelling at their kids like, hey, drink up. There's some kids in America. We even have UNICEF commercials where the biggest celebrities will come out and be like, this is John. He's been sober his entire life. You can help him. For less than $2 a day. You can buy him a 40. Again, I tell people where I'm from because it gives you context, but again, lots of questions. But yeah, came for college, graduated, doing stand-up now. I travel with American comedians, and I've noticed we get different questions, all right? As soon as I get off stage, someone will accost me in the back, and they'll be like, Birungi, we noticed you're English. Really good. Did you speak English before you came to America? Short answer, yes. Long answer, I learned my English from movies. Yeah, specifically James Bond movies. Because I don't know if you've seen James Bond movies, that man does not mince his words. You see, when they catch him, they ask him, what's your name? He goes, Bond. James Bond. Firm, clear, that's the guy you want to learn English from. But James Bond almost ruined my chances of coming to America. Yeah, entire flight, I watched James Bond movies. From Uganda to America, I arrive at the airport, immigration officer is like, step forward, sir, what's your name? And I'm thinking, James Bond energy, James Bond. Birungi. Birungi. He's like, yeah, welcome to America. I just got to ask you a couple questions. What's the reason for you visiting America? And I'm thinking, James Bond energy, James Bond energy. I could tell you, but then I'd have to kill you. You guys laugh. He wasn't laughing at all. He's like, sir, I'm going to ask you one more time. What's the reason and how long are you going to be here? I was like, I'm going to be here for as long as it takes. I'm on a mission impossible. He's like, step forward, son, step aside. Do you have any weapons on you? I was like, this watch could kill you from 50 yards away. All I'm saying is James Bond is not a good role model for immigrants. That shit only works if you're British. So I speak English. I speak 6 other languages. Yeah, you clap until you learn. I cannot use any of them in America. Like, I've never been to a job interview that look at my resume and Swahili? Oh my God, we've been looking for you. Welcome to T-Mobile. So my favorite thing is going to the big comedy cities, all right? My only frustration is that the best cities for comedy are also the most expensive cities. You know, like LA, New York, Mount Vernon. I struggle spending money in these places. I'll give you some context. I'm from Uganda, where every American dollar is the equivalent of 100,000 Ugandan dollars. Oh, wow, he's right. I repeat, every American dollar is the equivalent of 100,000 Ugandan dollars. That's the reason why I do not go to strip clubs. Yeah, it has nothing to do with my morals and everything to do with the goddamn exchange rate. Last time I went to a strip club, I had a bunch of ones and I was sweating. I was like, oh my God. This is the toughest financial decision that I ever have to make in my adult life. I'm looking at this stripper, I'm looking at these ones, I was like, Birungi, think. And then it finally kicked in, I was like, you know what, I think I have 2 choices here. This is tough. Do I put this stripper through college? Or do I build a school in my village? Okay, some of you are laughing, some of you are looking at me weird. You're like, did you make the right decision? Don't worry, she graduated this summer. I'm doing my part. It gets better. She got a job working for a nonprofit that builds schools in Africa. I'll close with this. Thank you guys for having me. But the weirdest place I ever did comedy was Qatar. Anybody heard of that country? If you don't know anything about Qatar, it's a very strict country. So I was there to shoot a podcasting episode. I had this podcasting equipment with me. As soon as I step out of Qatar airport, I got pulled over by Qatar police. They don't play. Yeah, one of the officers yanks through my podcasting equipment, digs it out, holds it at a distance. He's like, yo, is this a bomb? I was like, sir, for a country that exports terrorism, you don't know shit about bombs. You guys laugh, he wasn't, he called for backup. Within 2 minutes, I was surrounded by Qatar police. 2 minutes. You know why they get there quick, John? They drive fast cars. You know what kind of cars Qatar police drive? Ferraris. Yeah, within 2 minutes, I'm surrounded by Ferrari cop cars in this strange country where I do not know anybody. I'm a black man. I feared for my life. My heart dropped. I was like, oh my God. I'm about to ride in a Ferrari.